Tea was a quiet Saturday morning I had. Just finished feeding the horses and was walking back toward the barn when I saw something that made me stop cold. A gleaming white Porsche Cayenne SUV, parked smack in the middle of my alfalfa. Field. The gate was open, but only because my neighbor had just delivered hay. That Porsche had no business being there. I walked over to check it out. No emergency lights, no flat tires, just a polished luxury car sitting proudly like it owned the place and next to it, stomping around in high heels like the earth owed her soft pavement, was a woman in her 50s with short blonde hair and designer sunglasses. She was on her phone, loud enough to scare the birds off the fence post. I don't care if it's his land, Brenda, there's no parking on the street. This farm is just sitting here doing nothing. It's not like anyone important lives out here. A country people are so dramatic. I approached calmly, wiping my hands on my jeans. Morning, you know this is private land, right? She turned around with an expression that could curdle milk. And who are you, the groundskeeper? No ma'am, I own this property. She looked me up and down like I was covered in mud, which I was thanks to actual work. Well, I'm Karen Hawthorne, vice president of the Briar Creek HOA. We're having a garden party down the street. There wasn't enough parking. Your little farm had space, so I parked here. You're welcome. I blinked. You're trespassing. She shrugged. Oh, please, it's grass. You'll survive. I could tow the vehicle. She scoffed. Try it, I'll call the police. That made me chuckle. I reached into my flannel shirt and pulled out my badge. No need. I am the police chief, Marcus Dean, county sheriff's office, and this land also mine. Her face turned ghost white. You're joking, she whispered. No ma'am, and what you've done is illegal trespassing, illegal parking, and property damage. I pointed to the tire tracks matted into the alfalfa. That's about $1,200 worth of crop loss alone. Karen sputtered. Listen, I'm sure we can work something out. I held up a hand. You mean the way you worked something out with yourself before barging onto private farmland without permission? She didn't answer. Tow trucks on its way, I said, clicking my radio. And since you mentioned calling the police, I'll go ahead and write the citation myself. And yes ma'am, I am pressing charges. She started panicking. This is ridiculous. I pay taxes, and so do I said. Probably more than you, since I own 42 acres and work full-time for the county. By the time the tow truck rolled in and loaded up her Porsche, half the garden party had wandered over to see what was going on. A few of them laughed. One whispered, "That's what she gets." Karen stood there, flustered and furious, heels covered in mud, hands trembling as she tried to call her lawyer before she left. I handed her the citation. Next time, maybe don't assume farmers are beneath you, especially ones with a badge. She didn't say a word as she got into the passenger seat of a friend's Lexus and disappeared down the gravel road. I turned back to my crops, smiling. Life has a funny way of putting people in their places, especially when they park where they shouldn't.